Welcome to our deep dive, everybody, into the potential costs of AI. And, we always try to go beyond the hype, right?
Absolutely.
We want to explore the shadows of all these new and transformative technologies.
Yeah.
Our guide for this journey is Jay Poole's article, What AI Could Cost Us. 5 alarming risks you can't ignore. And if you want to hear more from Jay Poole, he has a great YouTube channel called Tech Frontiers.
I love that channel.
Yeah. And the future with AI, it seems bright. I mean, you do this. There's so much potential there. But it's important to understand, I think, the potential downsides.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing today.
That's what we're here for. AI, it does often feel like a magic solution to so many problems, right?
Yeah.
Like it's going to fix everything. But it's important to remember that any technology this potent, it comes with trade-offs, and we're definitely going to encounter some unforeseen consequences. I think a good analogy is it's like a powerful new medicine.
Yeah.
It has the potential to cure, but there is always the potential for side effects.
Right. Well, Poole's first risk that he talks about is job displacement. But it goes beyond, that typical robots taking jobs scenario, right?
Totally.
What makes AI different this time around?
I think the speed and scope of disruption, AI doesn't discriminate. It can impact everyone from truck drivers facing autonomous vehicles to writers competing with AI-generated content.
Right.
The source argues that AI's real threat isn't just job replacement, but the unprecedented rate and breadth of disruption across all sectors.
That's a really good point because, people think, oh, well, my job has nothing to do with technology. But I think the ripple effects of AI will likely be felt, everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not just about losing your job to a robot, but potentially having your entire industry reshaped by AI.
Exactly. You're exactly right. No industry is immune. Take the legal profession as an example.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
AI can already analyze legal documents, even draft contracts.
Wow.
Tasks that previously required human lawyers. This doesn't necessarily mean all lawyers will be out of work, but it does suggest a significant shift in how legal work is done and who does it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Poole's second risk is about surveillance and loss of privacy.
Yeah.
And it feels like, we're walking this tightrope between security and freedom.
It's a very delicate balance.
Yeah.
Poole uses the example of China's social credit system. Have you heard about this?
Yes, I have.
As a cautionary tale. It can sound pretty dystopian.
It does, yeah.
But even in democracies, AI-powered surveillance is getting, more sophisticated. Think facial recognition in public spaces, algorithms analyzing our online activity.
Yeah.
The lines are definitely getting blurred.
It makes you wonder, at what point does the pursuit of security start to erode our fundamental freedoms? And, what safeguards should be in place to prevent these technologies from being misused?
Absolutely. Those are the questions. Those are exactly the questions we need to be grappling with. And I think one of the biggest concerns is the lack of transparency. Often we don't know what data is being collected, how it's being used, or who has access to it.
Right, yeah. Poole's third risk focuses on the concentration of power in big tech. And with companies like, Google, Amazon, at the forefront of AI development, are we headed towards a future where a handful of corporations just control this incredibly powerful technology?
It's a valid concern, because the resources needed for cutting-edge AI, I'm talking about data, computing power, and just money, naturally create a barrier to entry for smaller players.
Yeah.
And this gives a significant advantage to these tech giants and, potentially stifling innovation and concentrating power in the hands of a few.
And if profit is the primary driver for these companies, how can we be sure that ethical considerations won't take a back seat? It seems like there's a real risk of AI being developed and deployed in ways that benefit a select few rather than society as a whole.
Yeah, I think that's a valid concern. One way to address this is to encourage a more diverse and inclusive AI landscape.
Okay, yeah.
And that means supporting smaller startups, promoting open source AI development, and fostering collaboration between academia, government, and the private sector.
It makes sense because it's about ensuring that multiple voices and perspectives contribute to AI's development so it doesn't become a tool for the powerful to further their own interests.
Exactly. A more diverse AI ecosystem is not only more ethical, but it's more resilient and more innovative.
All right, let's move on to the fourth risk, weaponization and autonomous warfare. So Poole talks about autonomous weapon systems, which honestly sound like something straight out of a science fiction film,
No.
but it's a reality that we're facing now.
Yeah.
So what can you tell us about that?
So the idea of machines making life or death decisions on the battlefield is unsettling, to say the least, and the potential consequences are terrifying. Faster, deadlier warfare, reduced accountability, the risk of accidental escalation.
Wow.
And a fundamental shift in the nature of conflict.
It raises some, really profound ethical questions. What does it mean to delegate life or death decisions to algorithms? How can we ensure human oversight and control when machines are operating at speeds and scales beyond human comprehension?
These are questions that humanity has never had to grapple with before, and the answers are far from clear. One of the most pressing challenges is establishing international regulations and ethical frameworks for these autonomous weapons systems before this technology spirals out of control.
We need to make sure that we are shaping this technology and not the other way around, right?
For sure.
Otherwise, we risk creating a future where algorithms are waging wars and humans are left to pick up the pieces.
That's a sobering thought. And it underscores the urgency of addressing this issue before it's too late.
Now for the final risk, existential angst. This one dives into the realm of misaligned superintelligence.
Yeah.
What happens if we create an AI that's smarter than us?
Right.
And its goals don't align with our own?
Right. So Poole emphasizes that this isn't about AI becoming evil in a Hollywood sense.
Right.
It's about the potential for AI to misinterpret our instructions.
Oh, okay.
Or develop goals that diverge from ours simply because its intelligence surpasses our own. Imagine an AI tasked with optimizing efficiency.
Okay.
Taking it to an extreme that disregards human safety.
Right.
It's not malice, but it is a terrifying form of unintended consequences.
It's a mind-bending concept, just the idea that we could create something that could ultimately outsmart us and render us obsolete. Right?
Yeah.
It's like playing with fire without fully understanding its power.
That's why the question of control is so crucial. How do we build these AI systems that are aligned with human values, even as they surpass us in intelligence?
Right.
How do we ensure that AI remains a tool for human flourishing rather than a threat to our very existence?
These are heavy questions, and unfortunately, there are no easy answers. But it's a conversation that we need to have now.
Yeah.
While we're still in these, early stages of AI development.
Absolutely. The stakes are too high to ignore these existential risks. We need to approach AI development with a sense of humility and caution, recognizing that we are dealing with a technology that has the potential to reshape our world in ways we can barely even imagine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've covered a lot of ground here, and it's clear that AI presents us with some profound challenges, but it's not all doom and gloom. So in the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore potential solutions and strategies for mitigating these risks. So stay tuned for part 2.
Looking forward to it. Welcome back to our deep dive into AI's potential costs. In part 1, we explored some sobering risks.
Yeah, I get.
But now it's time to shift gears a little bit.
Right, because we dove deep into the potential downsides. But how do we make sure that AI actually benefits humanity?
Right.
Where do we even begin with that?
Yeah, it's not about abandoning AI altogether, but rather shaping its trajectory, I think.
Okay.
Think of it like city planning, right?
Okay.
We wouldn't just let a city grow haphazardly. We need zoning laws, building codes, and a vision for the kind of city we want to live in.
Right.
Similarly, we need to design the AI landscape with intention.
Okay, so are regulations kind of the key to, keeping AI development in check?
Sure.
Can they actually keep pace with, such a rapidly evolving field?
Regulations are crucial.
Yeah.
But they're only one piece of the puzzle, really.
Okay.
I think we need clear guidelines addressing data privacy, AI, and surveillance, and, the development of autonomous weapons like we were talking about.
Right.
However, regulations often lag behind, technological advancements, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's why we also need robust ethical frameworks alongside those regulations.
Okay, what would those ethical frameworks look like in practice? How can we ensure that they're more than just, empty words on paper?
Well, I think ethical frameworks should be based on these core values, transparency, fairness, and accountability. It's about embedding these principles into the design process from the very beginning. So, developers, researchers, businesses, everyone involved in AI needs to embrace these principles, really.
It sounds like a massive undertaking.
It is.
to get everyone on the same page.
Yeah.
Can ethical frameworks really have teeth if they aren't, like, legally binding?
They can be incredibly influential. They raise awareness and spark those crucial conversations about AI ethics within the industry and with the public. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine, like, using these frameworks to evaluate AI systems, identifying potential biases, and then, holding companies accountable. It's about creating a culture of responsibility.
We've talked about regulations, ethical frameworks, but what about us, the everyday users? I mean, can individual actions really influence the direction of AI?
Absolutely. We need to be informed citizens,
Yes.
staying up to date on AI developments, and engaging in open discussions about its impact. Read articles,
Right.
listen to podcasts like this one, talk to your friends and family.
Yeah.
The more we understand, the better equipped we are to advocate for responsible development.
So it's about making conscious choices about the AI that we interact with every day.
Exactly.
And supporting companies that align with our values.
Exactly.
And we can't underestimate the power of collective action, right?
Absolutely. And we also need to educate, future generations. Integrating AI ethics and critical thinking about technology into school curricula it's vital.
Wow.
Empowering young people to understand and question AI is crucial for shaping a responsible future.
Yeah, because it's like, we're all part of this grand experiment with AI.
Wait.
And we need to be active participants.
Absolutely.
Asking the tough questions.
Yeah.
Demanding transparency.
Yeah.
And advocating for, ethical development.
I love that analogy. It highlights the shared responsibility we have in shaping AI's trajectory. We're not powerless in the face of technological advancement. We have a voice and a responsibility to use it.
So what's the most effective way for our listeners, to translate these discussions into action? Where should they start?
Well, I think you can start by engaging in conversations with your friends, your family, and your colleagues. Share insightful articles or podcasts that resonated with you.
Mm-hmm.
The more we talk about these issues,
All right.
The greater the collective understanding and the more likely we are to find solutions together.
Sparking those conversations, I think, is a really powerful step towards raising awareness and encouraging critical thinking about AI. It's about demystifying the technology and understanding its potential impact on our lives.
Yeah, and it's about demanding transparency from these companies that are developing and deploying AI.
Right.
We need to know how these systems work, what data they collect, and how that data is being used.
Yeah, we need to move beyond just being passive consumers of technology and become active participants in shaping its development.
Yeah.
But beyond individual action, what role can institutions play in steering AI?
In their efforts, governments can play a significant role by funding research initiatives, providing incentives for ethical AI development, and establishing international collaborations to address these global challenges.
International collaboration sounds, especially important, given that AI development isn't, limited by geographical boundaries.
Exactly. AI is a global phenomenon, and its impact will be felt worldwide. We need international agreements to prevent an AI arms race, ensure responsible use of AI in surveillance, and address the ethical implications of AI across borders.
So it's about recognizing that AI is not just a national issue, but a global one.
Yes.
That requires collective action and shared responsibility.
Precisely. Yeah. And this collective action needs to involve, diverse voices.
Right.
We need to include perspectives from developing countries, marginalized communities, and disciplines beyond computer science. Ethical AI development requires input from philosophers, social scientists, ethicists, and policymakers.
It's about ensuring that AI benefits, all of humanity, not just a select few.
Exactly. It's about democratizing AI, making sure that its development and deployment are guided by a diverse set of values and priorities.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground, I think, in terms of solutions and strategies, but realistically, how optimistic are you that we can steer AI in the right direction?
Right.
I mean, are we up to this challenge?
I believe we have a choice to make. We can succumb to fear and inaction, or we can embrace this challenge with a sense of urgency and determination. I choose optimism because I believe in human ingenuity and our capacity for collective action.
That's a powerful message. It's easy to get overwhelmed, I think, by the potential downsides.
It is.
But it's important to remember that we have agency.
Or do.
That we can shape the future we want to see.
Absolutely. And that's what we need to focus on. Let's move beyond the hype and the fear and engage in this constructive dialogue. Let's work together to build a future where AI empowers humanity, enhances our lives, and helps us solve, some of the world's most pressing challenges.
That's a vision worth striving for. We've covered a lot of ground, but our deep dive into the potential costs of AI isn't over yet, so please join us for Part 3, where we'll explore the philosophical and societal implications of this transformative technology. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the potential costs of AI. We've explored the risks, talked about possible solutions, and now I think it's time to step back and look at the bigger picture, right?
Yeah, I think that this entire conversation about AI, it transcends the technical, really. It forces us to confront some pretty fundamental questions about what it means to be human in an era of, increasingly intelligent machines.
Yeah, it's like, AI is holding up a mirror, and it's making us examine our values.
Absolutely.
Our priorities and our place in the universe, right?
Yeah.
How do we define our humanity in the face of something that can potentially, surpass our intelligence?
Right. I think that is the, heart of the matter. AI challenges our assumptions about what makes us unique, what we're good at, and the future we're building.
Yeah.
And, this self-reflection can be unsettling and threatening to some people.
Right. And, Jay Poole, in his article, he urges us to be active participants in shaping AI's future. And this deep dive, it has been quite a journey. What has stood out to you? And, what steps can we take to ensure that AI actually benefits humanity as a whole?
I think for me, what really stands out is this realization that we can't simply be passive observers.
Right.
We have to take responsibility for this technology that we are creating. It's not just about building safeguards, it's about actually shaping those values that are embedded in these AI systems.
That's a good point. It's a powerful reminder, I think, that every interaction we have with AI, every choice we make as developers, consumers, and citizens contributes to shaping its future. We're not just passengers on this ride. We're helping to steer the ship.
Exactly. And that steering, requires not just technical expertise,
right,
but also moral imagination. We need to envision the kind of future we want with AI and then work backward to ensure that the systems we're building today are aligned with that vision.
So it's about asking ourselves those really tough questions. What does it mean to live a good life?
Yeah.
In an age of AI, what values do we want to prioritize? How do we ensure that AI enhances our humanity rather than diminishes it?
We need to move beyond just the narrow focus on efficiency and productivity and actually consider the broader societal and ethical implications of AI. We need to think about how AI will impact our relationships, our communities, our sense of purpose, and our very understanding of what it means to be human.
It's true. This conversation, it goes far beyond, just bits and bytes and ones and zeros.
Yeah.
It really touches on the core of our existence. It's about recognizing that AI is not just a tool, but a force that has the potential to really reshape our world in these, profound and unpredictable ways.
It's a force that we need to engage with, thoughtfully, critically, and with a deep sense of responsibility. We need to approach AI development with humility, recognizing that we are venturing into uncharted territory.
We've only just begun, I think, to really explore these vast implications of AI, but hopefully this deep dive has given you a better understanding of the potential costs of AI progress.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this journey of discovery, and please, stay curious.
Absolutely.